Hey, people. I had a more in-depth experience and look at Diablo 3 this past weekend when I started a co-op game with Colin when I went over to his house, and I would say the co-op experience is definitely where it's at on the console. Just old-fashioned, playing in the same room with people, dungeon hacking and leveling, and it's a lot of fun. I tried out playing as the barbarian class, which I actually had much more ease with than with the demon hunter. Um, but you know, it's I like more getting into the middle of the action and not dying instantly when you're in the middle of everything. Which demon hunter being a ranged fighter, it's kind of what happens if you're playing on your own until you reach a certain level, that is. Also, you can get through the main game much quicker with two people. We made it all the way to level 14 and the end of the first act within a matter of 5 or 6 hours total. Game being out for 2 weeks now, on my solo game I still haven't gotten farther than the beginning of Act 2, and my character's now at level 22, which is great. Lots of really cool new abilities and runes and items that you pick up. So it gets more engrossing as it goes on. The story itself is still pretty sparse and bare bones for most of the time. A lot of the in-between story and the lore is really cool, so there's that. But also, the somewhat sparseness of it actually makes it a more fun experience to play with someone in the room with you. Think of parties in the works at some point. And because I didn't tell you before, mostly the story is that the remaining Lords of Hell are amassing to wage war with the land of Sanctuary, and it is a continuation of the original two games, which I have not played. Deckard Cain is trying to warn the people of New Tristram that things are going to go bad. We have Fallen Star, which is actually the angel, the embodiment of justice, Tyrael. He's really cool. Probably the coolest cutscene, which there aren't very many cinematics in the game itself, but the few there are just gorgeous. Like, absolutely amazing. That's about all I have to say. I'm also about Diablo anyway. I'm listening to the Arctic Monkeys' new album, AM, which is really cool. Do I Want to Know is the name of the opening song, which is playing now. It's fuzzy, it's gritty, it's modern, it's classic, it's all good things. All good things must be here. Okay, second part of the show, I say, this weekend I saw The World's End, which was amazing. And it isn't playing anywhere in this area, so I was glad that I finally got to see it. And I don't know why it's not playing in this area, because it's amazing! I mean, Simon Pegg is great, he's hilarious, him, Nick Frost especially, and all the other guys, Martin Freeman, and I don't even remember the other two actors at the moment, but and Pierce Brosnan's in it too. But Simon Pegg and company always create such like madcap and zany adventures together. Like Paul, starring Seth Rogen as Paul, that was great too. See these two sort of different blends of comedy, but still the same, like American slacker comedy versus British slacker comedy put together. What do you get? It's nerdy, it's funny, it's brilliant, it's well written, it's hilarious, it's completely far-fetched, but it also has heart. And I think it is leaps and bounds above Hot Fuzz, and Hot Fuzz was great. Fun Peg's also in a lot of other really good movies, like Star Trek Into Darkness. His Scotty is impeccable. But yeah, basically, they want to do this epic pub crawl called the Golden Mile in their old hometown, and because they never did when they were younger, because they never made it to the last bar, the World's End. So, circuit of 12 bars, one night, 5 old friends, and a town being invaded by robots. Or not robots, as the case may be. But you should see it for yourself. It's brilliant. And before I go, the other nerdiest thing that happened this week, I did a fall TV preview earlier, and I saw the first new show of the fall season, Sleepy Hollow, premiered last night on Fox, 9 p.m. on Fox on Mondays, in case you're interested and need something to watch. Not created by J.J. Abrams, but 2 of the people that created this show, Berto Orci and Alex Kurtzman, were the co-creators of Fringe and the co-creators of Star Trek Into Darkness and original Star Trek. Well, not original Star Trek, you know what I mean, the reboot. So that's really cool, especially because later on it's going to be sharing a block with the new J.J. Abrams show in November when Almost Human premieres. Very excited. So basically, Ichabod Crane, somehow he fights beheads some kind of redcoat soldier in the Revolutionary War, and he's not actually a revolutionary soldier. He's like undead. He's the embodiment of death, apparently. He rides on a white horse. So basically, Ichabod Crane is reawakened in this time period because the Horseman is reawakened, and is basically tasked with preventing the apocalypse. The 3 other horsemen will ride if certain events come into play. And it's a little unsure as to what some of those events might be, but I think it's good. It's also helped by police officer Abby Mills, who is black, and this sort of poses a problem at the beginning of the episode where he's like, "You're free then, I take it?" And she's like, "I'm very offended." And then he's like, "Well, I'm offended that you would think I was for slavery." And I don't know, like, a lot of old meets new, having to cope with the modern world, like, really quickly. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be a little uncomfortable, at least for the 2 characters at times. But I think a lot of good stuff's going to happen. And as much as I'm kind of sick of people using other people's stories to make things, I really like how they can reimagine it in such a way that they make it a new story and don't try so hard to make it the original story. Source material, because that's said and done. It's happened. We know the story. Well, different versions of it maybe, but we know the story. Ichabod Crane, Headless Horseman, nobody believes him, runs away, whatever. It's been done. But this brings it to a whole nother level, and considering that Orci and Kurtzman did such a great job writing for Star Trek, I want to know what kind of blood they can breathe, science fictional blood they can breathe into this Ichabod Crane story. So far, we got witches, we got magic powers, we got headless people, of course. It's a little... But I think Fox has another hit on their hands. And I don't really care what network does what, but I find that all my favorite shows end up on this channel sometime. Which is funny because Fox News is crap. Is the crappiest news. Yet, the Fox Network puts out the edgiest / obscene shows on television. Like Family Guy. Like what? Fox? Oh well. Keep it real, yo. And I will be back to talk about something cool soon.